Why hello there, and welcome back to another Christmas episode of You Learn Something Every Day. Wait, you're telling me I'm too early? 2 months? Jesus, this must be the wrong intro then. Here, let me get ready. Why hello there, and welcome to the actual intro for the Halloween episode of You Learn Something Every Day. Let me take off this horse skull, because my voice probably sounds pretty weird in it. Anyways, no big intro for this one. We're just going to be talking about Halloween, so let's get right on into it, shall we? Halloween, this one's a bit easier than the other stuff I've been talking about because a lot of people already generally accept that Halloween was derived from a pagan tradition. Now, pagan, if you didn't know, is a word developed by Christians to refer to people who practice religions other than Christianity. This is commonly used to refer to European tribes and religious groups, and also to the Celts. Speaking of the Celts, however, Halloween is basically a derivation of this Celtic festival that started about 2,000 years ago called Samhain, celebrated on October 31st. The Celts believed October 31st was the final day of summer and the days when their crops would begin to start dying and other stuff would start going south, like, the weather. Anyways, the Celts thought that the problems with their crops and the weather were due to the spirits. And the spirits, they believed, on October 31st would be closer to the living world and close enough that they would begin to manifest themselves and appear and, cause nuisance, destroy crops. What spirits generally do anyways. So, the Celts began wearing masks, these ghoulish faces and costumes, to make themselves appear as if they too were dead, so the other dead would leave them alone. They also would light large bonfires near their crops to ward off the spirits. That's the original tradition. However, there's also the whole deal with jack-o'-lanterns. Now, jack-o'-lanterns actually have a conflicted origin. A lot of people believe that it is from medieval Britain, when druids and priests would hollow out turnips and light candles in them to sort of be holding cells for spirits they believed who were trapped in eternal purgatory, and they believed these spirits would sort of bring themselves forth on October 31st, a lot like the Celts. It's also believed, however, that the Celts would carve out turnips and place candles in them just as their bonfires, as they thought light would ward off the spirits. Now, jack-o'-lanterns only became pumpkins, really, when the tradition was brought over to America, where pumpkins were in much more abundance than turnips, and they found out that they were a lot easier to carve out than turnips. I don't know if you've ever tried carving out a turnip, but it's not actually very fun. Anyways, that gives us jack-o'-lanterns, that gives us the tradition, but what about the name? The name Halloween actually comes from the Roman Catholic Church. Now, the Roman Catholic Church wasn't the most accepting group of people, so they would often find ways to absorb other religions into them. They didn't really like the pagans, and they didn't like this Samhain festival they were all doing on October 31st, so they came up with a church mass on October 31st called All Hallows Mass, which was meant to celebrate all the hallowed spirits in Catholicism. This overlapped deliberately with the pagan tradition, such that pagans would have to observe this as opposed to, Samhain wiping out their culture. And cut. Okay. And that is Halloween for you, folks. There are lots of things. Halloween hasn't always been dressing up as cats and going trick-or-treating. In fact, it's a very, very long tradition that has a lot of different meanings in different cultures, and started out as something very, very different than what we would consider. Thanks so much for dropping by for this Halloween episode of You Learn Something Every Day. Be sure to leave a comment if you want to see any other episodes, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of whatever that may be. Don't forget to live long and peace out. Bye!